Hi, today I'm going to show you how I made an old single price vending machine working with a card reader. Be right back. This old Dixie Narco vending machine is placed at a bus terminal. I replaced the front panel and give it a fresh coat of paint. It may be old, but it still does the job. This old vending machine worked by using a coin mechanism that triggered the relay inside the machine. When you put enough coins inside the coin mech, the relay activated and you can choose your drink. To make a card reader work on a vending machine like this, you need to connect it to a pulse relay board. The board sends a signal to the relay inside the machine, just like the coin mech normally would. It's simple and affordable way to upgrade an old vending machine and make it accept card payment. To make this work, you need a card reader, a pulse cable for the reader, and a pulse relay board, and a separated power supply for the card reader. Make sure the pulse relay board match the same voltage as your card reader. That's important to avoid damage and make sure everything running smoothly. To make this easier, I bought a set from Nayax. All I had to do was connecting power to the pulse relay board, which also power up the card reader. Then I connected 2 wires from the relay board to the vending machine internal relay, and that's it. They pre-configured the card reader for a pulse signal and included a pulse relay board in the package. If you don't want to use the Nayax kit, you can buy a separate pulse relay board and connect it using a pulse cable. Just make sure the relay board runs on the same voltage as your card reader. That's important. Now, let's look at the pulse relay board I get from Nayax. First, you connect the pulse cable here. Then you connect the DC power here. I'm using 24 volt DC. To activate the relay inside the vending machine, you need to connect to the COM terminal and to the NO terminal, not NC. Here's how it works. When the card reader triggers a pulse, the pulse relay board connects the COM and NO terminals. The NO terminal is normally open, means it's only closed when the pulse is triggered. Here is another pulse relay board. It works the same way as the Nayax board, but with this one you need to connect the power to the board yourself. Make sure to connect pulse cable number 1 to the EN terminal here. In this picture you can see the John's connection, which is where the coin mechanism is connected. In this example, we are setting up a free vend button to allow customer to get a drink without paying. However, instead using a manual button, the pulse relay board will replace it. Once the customer complete the payment, the pulse relay will activate the internal relay in the vending machine. Allow the customer to select their drink. If you choose to remove the coin mechanism, you need to connect point 7 with point 1. However, I decided to keep the coin mechanism in place. In my setup, I connected COM and NO to point 1 and 3. Be aware that your Johnson connection might be mirrored depending on how your wiring is set up inside your machine. You'll figure this out by checking which wire comes out of the Johnson connection. Some people choose to push the wire directly between the connection point on the Johnson connection, but I recommended creating a more secure permanent connection on the cable between the Johnson connection and the internal relay. This will make the connection more reliable and long-lasting. Now we can grab an ice-cold drink from the vending machine using the card reader. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates. Thanks for watching, and see you at the next